Hello, welcome to DeBald Guy Cooks, and I'm DeBald Guy. Today's basic skills lesson is preparing sausage. As you'll read in recipes, they'll ask for it a couple different ways, and then we'll put it in the pan and come back to see what it looks like afterwards. And I've got the pan heating up here, so we can do that directly. Typically, they'll ask for whole sausage. One of the easiest meals in the world is just grabbing some sausages and keep them in the freezer. Pull a sausage out at a time, and it makes a great meal, or a couple sausages. Tonight, we are working on Italian sausage. So, in some recipes, they'll ask you to slice it into rounds, like this. You have to be kind of gentle if it's, I've had this thawing at room temperature today. And then sometimes they'll say sausage out of the casing. And so if you bought sausages that were prepared, we're just going to essentially take the skin off. And so this would be kind of like if you're using ground beef. One way to do that is just take it and run your knife along the skin. Not cutting it, but just using it as kind of like a putty knife or a paint palette. And then the other way is just put the sausage in whole. So depending on what you want to do, remember that cooking's all about you and what you like. It's several different ways, so I'm going to put them in differently. And they're essentially the same product, but they are a different way to use it. A lot of times you might want to do a pasta sauce with ground sausage or ground beef. And if you have the sausages in house, you don't have to go get meat that's not been put in a casing already, but you just take it out of the casing. So it's another way to not have to go to the store as often, not to have as many things in the house as products, to be able to have a nice meal. And so what we're wanting here is, if you can kind of zoom in a little bit, is let's take a look at what's going on here. So I put a little olive oil in the pan. That just keeps things from sticking a little bit. And we're wanting to essentially brown the meat. And so you can see the oil sizzling away, the sausage sizzling away. And this is on a medium high. Remember, on my scale, low is 1, high is 10, so I have it on a 7, 7.5 to 8. If you see things start smoking, you just turn the heat down. And tongs are a good way to do this. I'll bring this sausage over here. This sausage is going to cook quicker because it's out of the casing. It's not one big piece of meat. It's small slices and then little chunks down here. So what you're really wanting to see is that meat browning like this. That's where a lot of the, when they talk about layering flavors, it's caramelizing the sugars in the meat. Let's see if that one's, yeah, that one's nice. You could take it a little further if you want it darker. But that's going to add a nice additional flavor on top of just having a sausage in there. And then when we come back, everything will be browned. And you can take a pair of tongs. These are about $3 to $10 in the grocery store, or if you go to Restaurant Supply, a little cheaper. These run around $3. I like to go to the Restaurant Supply place because they have more just kind of different stuff that you a lot of times can't find, but otherwise I do a lot of online stuff and just have it shipped to the door because it is super easy. And then on the sausage you'll see this little ring of goodness, and that's essentially that browning up. And if you could hear it as much as I can smell it, you would be running over to my house right now, because it is going to be tasty for dinner tonight. And so let's take about probably a minute or so out here, and we'll come back and this sausage should be cooked. Okay, the sausage is done. So we had the ground sausage that we took out of the casing. We had sliced rounds of sausage and then did the whole sausage. And for the what you can do is slice this up into small slices. It really depends on what you're using it for. If you were putting this in a bun, it would be great just going in a bun like that. If you're doing a pasta sauce or something where you're adding it, these smaller pieces. But essentially, here's ground sausage, ring sausage, and link sausages. So there's preparing sausage. This was Italian. You could do this with anything. And bada bing, bada boom, it's done.